All right, we're gonna go left drink up and right drink up. Left drink up. Oh my God, drink up. Perfect. This wasn't what I did in my first ballet class.
This is what I like.
Qué rico.
Hey, ooh, wow. We're really doing
Whoa,
it. Wow.
that's
That's
like
the
almost
same.
a third of the cup.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Here, I'll pour more.
Hey
for
man,
you.
monitor me sipping because in all honesty, things begin to unzip.
Whoa.
Like,
Hi everyone, welcome to Cactus TV. We are very excited for our guest today.
Jason Cox is here with us in the studio. We're super excited. This guy is multi-talented. Not only does he act, he writes books for children. He does ballet and he does commercials. He's just all over the place when it comes to talent. And we're so lucky that he's a great friend of ours.
Brilliant.
This drink is actually never before seen. It's by Coca-Cola's company, and we have our Powerade Zero, which means zero sugar, and it's called Watermelon Berry. Boom!
Ooh.
Okay, so I've got some vodka here, and I'm going to be mixing it.
What does it smell like, Jason?
it smells like love.
See?
Yes,
¿A
and-
poco? Okay, so while you pour that, I'll ask you a question. So, we know you're an actor and an amazing actor. You've done so many things, movies, music videos, theater, you name it. So, let's go from the beginning. How did you get started into acting?
I remember like the first thing that I did was I always wanted to do it, and then I didn't have enough like courage or just ganas or whatever to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And then something happened to me. I went to Mexico for a year, and I kind of burned off all of my chicken feathers. And what I mean by that is, I'll tell you a little story really quickly.
Please.
Yes, don't take your
If you have time, I don't know how
We-
this
we
works.
don't have any
We have all night. Yeah, all night.
So I heard this story.
This is a sleepover, you didn't know?
I'm down. I brought my underpants.
Yes!
Onesie.
The Grinch.
But I heard the story about a farmer who found an eagle egg, and it was abandoned. And he took that eagle egg back to his farm and had it hatch with his chickens. And it hatched with all the chickens and learned to live like a chicken. And for his whole life, he just thrashed his wings a few, boom, can fly to here or there, clucked on the ground for food. And at the end of his life, he looked in the sky and saw an eagle. And he's like, hey, chicken friends, what's that? And his chicken friends said, well, that's the eagle. That's the king of the bird. But you don't have to worry about that because you're a chicken. And so that eagle lived and died his whole life thinking he was a chicken.
Wow.
And I think I had a moment where I was like, I don't want to be that chicken. There's nothing wrong with being a chicken, but that's not how I was born. I was born to be that. And so I kind of went off to Mexico to just kind of, I had to be around, like when I look back, I was around people who didn't see me as a chicken. Like
Yes.
people that, people who knew me my whole life, my family, my friends, blah, blah, blah. And they're all great. I love my family and my friends. But they all saw me as a thing. But I'm like, I'm that. And so when I went around to Mexico, they all saw me in my nature. And then I just became that. And then I came home and my chicken feathers were all burned off. And I was like looking for new experiences. And I just kind of stumbled into it. So
That's amazing.
That's
That's,
inspiring already.
know.
Oh my gosh, I already want to go do so many things just by this story. I'm like, wow, I'm not a chicken.
And
Like,
it's funny
that's
because when you first said I burned all my chicken feathers off, I was like, yeah. And I didn't know at all what you meant. So I'm glad.
I figured I had to kind of explain
Yeah,
it.
I'm glad you told us. Because I was like, yeah, totally.
I stumbled into a Condra Artista, which is a talent agent here, and they sent me on things, and I would just go on auditions, and sometimes I'd book them. And
She's here at Elmo.
She's here now.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll be
Talent.
taking acting classes.
No kidding.
No, there's someone else teaching the acting classes. I think her name is, I don't remember her name, but someone that's moving in. But Condra is the agency, Artista, and it's run by, what is her name?
Claudia.
Claudia.
A little birdie told me that aside from all of the amazing projects you've worked with, right? You've worked with different directors, from here in San Antonio to LA to all over the place. And one of those is a name that everybody knows,
Ooh.
right? Everybody's heard of the director Spike Lee.
Damn.
And
Yeah.
there was a film called The 25th Hour with Edward Norton
Look at you remembering
and
stuff.
Rosario Dawson.
Yep. Oh my God.
Right?
Yes.
And so go ahead and tell us a little bit about how amazing that experience was, a little bit of the plot without giving it away, and where we can find that if we want to download it or watch it or whatever.
Okay. Well, I go into this audition, and Spike Lee, for a movie called The 25th Hour, and he needed someone that was like a 25-year in the future dream sequence of a son of Edward Norton and Rosario Dawson. And so I walked in, and I guess I looked like a half Puerto Rican, half white guy at the time. And,
I see that.
I can see it.
I got booked, and it was a really great experience. So like I'm sitting there, and the Rosario Dawson's she plays my mother. And I'm like there, my little fake baby's there.
You're like, damn, Mom.
And Ed Norton's there, and
Damn,
and
Mom.
Spike's there, and the whole crew's there, and I'm like, holy shit, this is really happening, you know? And
Yes.
I had this moment where I'm sitting there going, oh man,
I am not a chicken anymore.
well, no, yeah, it's like I could just,
Still
like this
going
is
with
all
the
it is.
chicken.
You just do the thing. You know the lines come up and you do it and you mean it, and they say cut and do it again, and I was like, oh man, this is badass.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you understand the script? How do you get that emotion from the script? Like how?
I
Because
th-
it's just on paper.
I think I'm more of a feeling person, just in general. Like I'll read like in context of the story, and then whatever part I'm playing in
Relation
support
to
of
that,
the story. You know what I mean? Like it's not about me and my lines, whatever. It's like
Exactly.
how do I support this story? You
The
know,
dynamic overall.
and then like once I get that kind of feeling, then that will, for me, it kind of dictates how the lines or will go, or how I think they might go. But again, like I just want to know the lines, and then when I'm in the scene, it might go completely different than the way I prepared. And I want to be prepared, but I want to be open to, like, if you're bringing something completely different, then I'm
Yeah.
just going to listen and oh wow, this whole scene is changing. This not how I imagined it at all, which is great. That's the
That's
So
where it is.
It does
That's
change
it.
in the moment, like music.
does.
Like it does change, like whoever you're feeding
or
on.
the
like-
audience, like exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. So since we're on that movie vibe, I just saw a movie you were in.
What?
And I know that it was the #1 streamed movie on Netflix for a
What?
while. And I loved it. I watched it twice.
I have not
It's-
seen it yet.
It was directed by
I
Robert
will.
Rodriguez, one of my favorite film directors, and it's called We Can Be Heroes.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? How is that? That's exciting.
Okay, guys, they're making it sound way cooler than it actually was. So if you watch it, don't blink, is what I'm trying to tell you.
No.
There was another one. I went up on an audition. Chandra, she said, go up. And I actually read for, if you watch the movie, I guess they were just having us read things. So it was whomever Christian Slater played. And I
yes.
remember, I read it, and I read the shit out of it. I was like, I'm really mean this one. I'm
gonna get this part.
Man, I'm boom.
Yeah.
And killed it and had a great time doing it. That's for me, is like, if I have a great time doing it, I don't care how it goes. Like,
Because
if
you
I
left
don't
an
get, I'm like,
impression.
oh man, I enjoy. The thing is, like, I enjoyed myself. Like, I know I did the work. I know, so it was really gratifying. And then months and months and months later, I get it was a while later. I get a last minute call. And they said, "Can you be in this thing?" And I said, "Yeah, sure."
And you were with Priyanka Chopra,
Yeah.
and then Pedro
I'm talking about, like, right
Pascal.
there. Yes.
Wow.
Like Rosario Dawson on one side and
They
Priyanka
were-
Chopra on the other side. And you're like,
Holy cow! Maybe I have done some cool
You're
crap.
not a
That's
chicken,
awesome.
Jason.
I
You are
just-
not a
I
chicken.
sometimes
You know
still
what,
put
though?
chicken feathers on.
he is such a humble guy. And I say this because we've also worked with him. He's done 2 of Vanessa's music videos. As
Yes.
some of our audience may know, probably most of you know, that she is a singer-songwriter, producer for her records and everything. And Jason has been in 2 of her music videos. So the first one was Dime Tu, which I was a part of. That's where we met, right? And that was...
You did my makeup?
I did your makeup on that episode. It was that video, and it was so much fun. We shot it at Jackson Ranch here in San Antonio, and then the second video was for Mexican Train, and that song is one of my absolute favorites. And that was some good times. I can't tell you what they all were, but those were good times. You're just such a humble guy, and I know that recently you've started posting a lot on your Instagram story about your morning pages and about your breathing exercises. And I think that some of that spirituality comes in, and it's what helps you stay humble. But can you tell us a little bit more about where that stems from, or where you got that notion from?
Well, the humble thing, I have 3 older brothers. Trust me, you can't get out of line with 3 older brothers. You can't, that puts
I
you
know
back in
that.
your place.
Yes.
But the morning pages, that was that kind of led up to understanding the chicken nature thing, is from a book called The Artist's Way, from Julia Cameron.
Yes.
Somebody, I saw that you posted that. the
I'm
other day.
reading that now. Yes, it's so good.
Currently, it's great.
Yes.
I haven't
So-
read it yet, and I'm bummed out that I feel left out.
Pick it up, seriously. So that was one of the first things that I guess kind of gave me permission. If if that makes sense. Permission to, like, I've always had these inclinations, and I'm like, that chicken. And there was something about the morning pages, and what it does is, it's 3 pages as soon as you wake up in the morning of just nothing, just blah, 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 blah. My hair looks dumb, I'm not feeling great, I had a great day yesterday, just that, get it all out on the page. And I think the idea behind that is to just kind of vomit these things out so they don't keep affecting you for the rest of the day. So he's like, oh, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Like if it comes up at noon or something, you're like, oh wait, I dealt with that in the pages. Now I'm present. Now I can be, it just helps you get rid of that stuff.
So it's like a mind dump that also helps to kind of take away some of that anxiety that you have with you throughout the day.
Or deal with that
Yeah.
anxiety. If you know you've got something coming up, just dump all that anxiety on the page. And they're called morning pages. I've done them off and on for the last 20 years, I guess. So
Jason, we see that you are in like magnificent shape. I know that,
Always.
like, how do you stay that way? Just give us a secret. Like, what's the tip? What do you do? What do you eat? Or what's the secret?
What or who do you do? Whatever.
Oh my God.
Please don't say, like, I don't do anything. I eat tacos every day.
No, trust me.
Whatever.
Trust me.
I just naturally look this good.
Trust me. I mean, again, you're making me blush, and it's very sweet of you to say. But I mean, in all honesty, it's another thing. Like, I was kind of chubby as a kid.
No way.
Insert the picture here.
Yeah,
Would never know. We'll find it.
So
I'm
sure you have an idea.
I don't have it, but I've seen it.
So I was sick when I was little,
Yes.
and there was something that happened to me, and it just kind of swole my body up. And there were parts that, like when you're a kid, you just get kind of self-conscious about certain things, and I was like, oh man, this sucks. And at a certain point, I found out, like, oh, I could just exercise and
I don't have
kind
to
of
be
stay in
chubby.
shape.
I feel personally attacked.
But what's funny is, like, that thing always chases me. It's like always right there. Like, I'm never really like, like, to hear you say that, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh no, you're talking to that 9-year-old little kid that's chubby. I'm like, I don't get it. That's how I always see myself.
It's a complex.
So I guess yeah,
I feel like you're not including that in your morning.
to tell you the truth, I honestly am. I'm like, man, I want to also enjoy it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But then to answer your question though, so that's one thing. That's like a deep motivator, which is, which I guess people have their things, and that's one of my things. But I dance. I just stay active, so I dance. Like, my favorite thing to do is dance ballet.
Ballet.
And then I tinker around with different eating things. Like, for a month, 2 months ago, I ate only meat. Like, literally only meat. Nothing but meat.
Nothing else.
At lunch, I had a bowl of a bucket of ground beef.
That's
and
it.
then at night,
What did you
I had
drink? Water?
I had grapes at night.
Vodka?
In the form of wine.
Oh my god.
So I had a little bit of fruit.
Wait,
you know?
how did you feel on that? Because I heard there's like
Loved
this guy, a meat diet going around that it's
Loved
just
it.
okay. You felt good.
I loved it. Yeah. So I still kind of tinker around, like, but I really loved it.
Talk about your nonprofit Marrow Match.
So when I was a little boy, I had a bone marrow transplant, and my oldest brother donated his marrow and saved my life. But for a lot of people that are in the same position that I am in, or that I was in, they don't have a brother, or their brother or sister doesn't match, and so they're dependent on this registry of strangers, of courageous people willing to donate their marrow to save their life. And so you know this. So she helped me out. I had a marrow drive at St. Mary's one time where anybody can join. If you're between the ages of 18 and 44, you can join for free if you're between 18 and 44. Just go to bethematch.org and order a kit. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at,
Marrowmatch.org.
slide into my DMs on Instagram at Marrow Match. I don't know. Is that how the kids say it now?
What's your Instagram handle, by the way?
On Instagram, there's marrow.match, and that's all about what we do for the Marrow Match. And if you have any questions, please, seriously, slide into my DMs. And then I realized, like, there's a part of me that needs to kind of express, like, what I do. Like, y'all are so sweet to have me on this thing about acting or dancing or
Your professional
things I
life.
do on my personal side, my professional life. And that's at Jason Daniel Cox.
Do you have any more questions?
I don't know. I have lots of
We got a lot of information.
We do
That
have a
was
lot of
really
information.
good.
I keep making that shitty face like this.
What, pirate?
This is delicious, by the way.